First of all, what does this victory mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. It's another opportunity to offer my services to my constituency and also to all Nigerians, and particularly the good people of the South region. It's also, it means that, yes, indeed, that my efforts have been appreciated by both man and God. So I'm excited about it.
Now, what should we expect from the 10th Assembly?
I think we should focus a lot on the current situation we have at hand. That is the youth restiveness. We can focus on those things, taking care of the welfare of the youths, then we would have taken care of the security. Two primary purposes of government: creating employment opportunities, helping the new administration to stabilize in focusing on the economy, and trying to make sure that small-scale industries spring up everywhere, and that youths are not thinking just merely of getting jobs, but also being job creators. I think definitely that we should be very youth-focused and youth-based in the next assembly, in the 10th National Assembly.
Before I let you go, I will need to ask you, there will be elections in your state on Saturday.
Yes.
Are you ready?
There will be elections in my state on Saturday, and I believe that the will of God should be done. And in doing so, I wouldn't mind, even though I'm on the national stage now, but I assure you that the good people of Akwa Ibom said would like to join the center, would like to go with the center. The All Progressives Congress is already coming in as the next administration, and the Akwa Ibom people are excited about it, and they would like to belong to the center. And so I wish my governor to be, His Excellency Akan Odofia, the best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
General Senators.
He's a veteran,
Well,
a ranking member.
generally, I will speak even on his behalf. He's a grassroots politician.
Thank you.
Generally, I learned grassroots from him. And we have been mobilizing youth. We have been empowering them. If you look at my record in Osun, you will see it's almost the best. When he was the governor, his own was empowerment, rural roads, and education. But now that we are up here, what we want to do is empowerment of the youth and women. Then agric is number one. We have to go back to agric. Then I will employ Mr. President for now to open the borders so that Nigerians can cross and do their businesses and come here. The economy will not be too stiff. After all, the borders they close, they are still smuggling. So if they open, free flow of foreign exchange will come. Go to the Republic of Benin, the economy is better than us because we close the border against them and they could use their brain. Now we are having problems. The problem is to be solved by him before he goes. Let them open the borders and let this youth, let them have things to do. Let our monies up there, let the money come down. Then the economy will be okay. That's our take.
So what are we expecting?
Well, first thing first, my brother, distinguished Senator Father Onsi, as you know, is a ranking member, quite experienced, and not only that, he has been a boss of the customs. So when he's speaking about inter-trade, we need to listen to him. But on top of that, I think part of what is missing is that we need to find a way of patronizing ourselves. People have talked and talked about it, and we will not stop until it starts to happen. Because until we keep our resources within, we are just going to be experiencing capital flight, which has a lot to do with the state of our economy. That is very key. But of course, whichever way we look at it, until we empower the local government and give them teeth and strength, financial strength, whatever we do at the center and even at the state level will not percolate down. So I'm going to continue to fight that we should give financial autonomy to the local government. And of course, quite a number of other things. I want to fight for the less privileged. I'm talking of physically challenged people. Quite a number of things that we're looking at. We can also, help them. There are quite a lot of things that we'll do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What does this mean to you?
For me, I thank God for everything because it wasn't easy at all. But I'm grateful that today we have been given our certificates, which is the indication that we indeed won the election and able to take our seats at the red chambers. It means also a burden of some sort, because when you consider the decadence of maladministration in this country and what it has meant for our people, hunger, thirst, lack of education, lack of health, infrastructure undevelopment, and all sorts of things, insecurity, you now know that there's a lot of work to do. And so this certificate is heavy. It's telling me to get ready, roll your sleeves, and go back to work.
Were you expecting this victory? Because with the power of incumbency in your state and a Labour Party person coming to clinch it, how was it?
That's what makes the victory a lot sweeter than it would have been. I expected in the sense that when I campaigned and listened to people all over the place, what I hear from them is they are all tired and everybody wants a new direction. And the alternative to APC and PDP, of course, is Labour. And so it wasn't that very difficult for me to figure out that at the end of the day that we'll be victorious. And I thank God that victory is ours today.
What will be your priority at the 10th Assembly, 10th Senate? At
the 10th Assembly, for me, there are a whole lot of things we should be looking at. One of them is the audit bill. Audit bill, we've had it in the 8th and the 9th Senate, which the President has not signed. I think it's still on his desk. I hope he signs before the end of his tenure. But if that is not the case, but it's something that we must do so that we can begin to bring seriousness to that office. Because it's the office that audits all the MDAs. And this is where the leakages are. When you hear that a department cannot account for billions of naira, something happened. And if the audit department was strong enough, strengthened, then we would have been able to detect this and prevent it. So it's something very uppermost to my mind.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
The Labour Party man in the 10th Assembly. That's why I was coming to.
How now? Okay, yes.
10th Assembly, what will be the difference?
What difference again now?
Legislation as well as for the country.
No, for me, I set out to consolidate on what I've already started already. Human capital development, infrastructural development, and proper bills that will have a positive multiplier effect on our people.
So, but there was drama in the night assembly. Are we still going to see such dramas now?
Drama? What kind of drama?
From the onset of the night assembly, the leadership talks. They're moving into issues.
I think it will be seamless. They don't call me.
Okay. What are we expecting the 10th Assembly? What should we expect from you at the 10th National Assembly, the Senate?
The role of the Senate is very clear in the Nigerian Constitution. And it's basically about representing our various constituents and recognizing that regardless of the fact that we come from various constituents, we belong to one country and we are committed to working and preserving the unity of the country. Particularly at this point in time, when ethnic champions cease to crowd out people who believe in the country and focusing on the big issues that will lay foundation for or strengthen the foundation for sustainable growth and development. There are a lot of issues. We do need to review our budgeting system, I believe. We need to revisit some of the policies that haven't worked out well. We need to find courage to speak truth to the executive. We cooperate as much as possible, provide useful ideas and even alternative ideas where we think that there is something that we can improve on. And Parliament is different from the executive. As a governor, I will say I'm going to do X, Y, Z. In Parliament, I think you get what you're able to persuade other colleagues to buy into, because it's truly a game of number. And it is the presence of Parliament that defines the character of a democracy. And my hope is that senators will build on what they have attained so far and even further improve on it, to begin to see senators the way they are respected in other countries. Asserting their authority, and you can predict that on this issue, XYZ senator is likely to toe this line based on a set of ideas and values that one subscribes to. And given my own background, there are things I can't do if they are offensive to my conscience. I have been on the side of the mass of our people from the age of 17. I've been struggling, and at my present age, I can't deviate from that, regardless of the position that I found myself. I believe God has made it possible for me to get here, because He sees my heart and He knows my intentions. And for me, working together with the other two colleagues, one from Edo South and the other from Edo Central, working together, I believe Edo will have a robust representation on the floor of the Senate. And, we have a fighting spirit. We know what the challenges are. And we do our work together to ensure that, Edo gets his fair share of national presence.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question aside the Senate question. There will be election in March, state assembly elections in March. And Edo is peculiar because for 14 state assembly members, they couldn't be part of this last assembly. Going into this election, what do you think?
Well, it was a huge conspiracy against those elected members. And I'm sure all those who were part of that conspiracy, they are now regretting having seen the danger of running a state like a sole administrator. Edo will go down in history as the only state in this republic in which a house of 24 members was being run by only 10 members. A miserable minority and a clear breach of the law. But we moved on. Now it is to learn lessons from that and ensure that once the elections are over, we have a parliament that will ensure that the executive is subject to legislative checks and balances, and that they assert their oversight function and the appropriate budget in a way that reflects the aspirations of their various constituents. So it's a very important election for us. It doesn't matter that the governor is not on the card, but the government is on the card.
Thank you so much.
You host a program.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
My word.
Okay, I didn't even know that. You have covered your face.
Our mother is in my word. I knew her when she was like this.
You don't know me. I was the one that covered your...
The Right Honorable Leighton Williams, the Right Honorable Leighton Williams, the current Speaker of the Cross River State House of Assembly.
That's interesting. Congratulations again. You're moving into the 10th Assembly, not the Cross River Assembly again. So what are you bringing on board?
Effective representation, and also a vast knowledge of the legislature.
So what are we expecting from you, and what will be your priority now?
To represent my people well, with effective bills and things that will give my people that sense of belonging in this nation called Nigeria.
You already have something in mind?
I have a lot in mind. I have a lot, having done campaign around the state and around my senatorial district. I've known what my people want. I don't give them, but they give to me. This is what we want. To me, that is how you have already put out a KPI, key performance, what they should judge me from. Because it is from what they want that I'm going to act.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What should we expect from the 10th Assembly?
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of very experienced senators-elect who will be in the 10th Senate. And such experienced senators-elect will bring to bear their experiences, their skills, their expertise, and that will enrich the activities of the Senate, particularly legislative interventions. I also want to believe that there's going to be stability. APC is in control, is the majority party at the moment. But you know, I always believe that when we come on different platforms, we, at the end of the day, are brought together by the desire to make our country better. We'll be representing Nigerians, and that means that our political affiliations should not be the major determinant of what we do and how we go about what we do. We should be always guided by the national interest. We should always be guided by what will make Nigeria better. Nigeria has achieved quite a lot in the last 7.5 years or 8 years, but still there are challenges. I can say many challenges again. And I believe that what the 10th Assembly will try to do is to look at how the 9th Assembly fared and how it can improve on what we have been able to do right, and maybe improve on what we have not been able to do right, and consolidate on what we have been able to do properly and right. And there are many of us who will be coming back from the 9th Senate into the 10th Senate. I'm sure our experiences will be that as people who experienced or who participated fully in the activities of the 9th Senate, we should be able to provide some guidance, some focus on how we go about interventions in the areas of legislations, in the areas of infrastructure development of the country. So I am very, very optimistic that the 10th National Assembly, particularly the 10th Senate, will be a Senate that will try to consolidate on those areas that the 9th Senate has been able to do well and improve, rejig, rekit, retool, reconsider, and rework those areas that the 9th Senate has not been able to get very well. And I, for one, will wish that we are able to have a very stable, very productive, peaceful, cordial relationship between us in the Senate and the House, and then between the National Assembly, that is the two chambers, and the executive arm of government, where President-elect Suaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu will be holding sway. He was once in the National Assembly, and therefore we can say in practical sense that he is not new, or is not going to be new to the legislature. And that will give him an additional advantage of understanding the sentiments, the sensibilities, the focus, the aspirations of members of the National Assembly, and we can do so well together to make Nigeria better, to take Nigeria to the next level. And I believe that regardless of our political parties, and at this time, I think about 7 political parties are represented in the Senate against the 3 or 4 that we have in the 9th Senate. That will not make any difference because all of us in that chamber will be facing the direction of making Nigeria better regardless of our political parties and political platforms.
Thank you so much.
We should expect a robust 10th assembly because we are coming with a new for the country. And all the expectations that Nigerians are going to have on this 10th assembly, I'm sure we're going to meet up the challenges and do the needful and transform this country to what it should be.
What about your people? What should they expect from you?
My people should expect that I'm going to redouble my efforts at providing them all the basic things that this democratic dividend is supposed to bring to them, and I will make sure that I represent them very well the way I have done before.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
10th Senate, welcome to the 10th Senate. What should we expect from you as a senator and the collective house?
Well, for me, this next administration, irrespective of party affiliation, we must take a decision as a people and as leaders to make sacrifices. We must work very well to reunite the entire country and to revive all sectors, of the economy. That's what I expect, nothing short of that.
So what are your people expecting from you? What would you do for your senatorial districts as a senator?
My commitment, as I made to God, is beyond my senatorial zone, is beyond the Ebonyi State, it's for the entire country. When there is a saying that says that a chain, as strong as the weakest link. So if any part of this country is sick, it means that my state is sick, my senatorial district. So it's about commitment. And so we're going to make a lot of sacrifices to revive this country.
So what will be your priority?
Priority will be how we can solve the problem of power, security, unemployment, reviving the economy. This should be the priorities.
Thank you so much.
It's a representative government. So I'm coming from where the people are crying, the people are agitating for a better Nigeria and for a better treatment and a better society. And so all that I will be doing, I will be saying, will be in line with what the people are yearning for. I will not be doing anything to personalize the issues that will be so presented in the floor of the House. And I will do well by the grace of God to collaborate with other members of the House because it's not a one-man show. It has to do with other people, other regions. And so what my region suffer may differ in some way from what other regions suffer. And so we have to interface, we have to collaborate to ensure that we bring all together and make good laws to ensure that our people do not cry the same way they have been crying in the past. That is my wisdom and that is my goal.
But as a collective house,
well, for now, I would not be able to make too many projections because it's until we get there and then we put the type of leadership that Nigerians may want. Because first, who to lead the house and those to do the business of coordinating the House. And then we go into the issues that are burning, in the minds of the people. And so it will not just be what I want, to do. What Nigerians want us to do in the House should be the voice we should be hearing every time, every now and then.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
To be victorious.
Well, it does feel good, I must say. It makes Yoruba people says, meaning we will not, may our labors not be in vain. And I have labored for this and the FCT, and so I feel fulfilled that we were able to pull it off.
So what are you bringing on board? 10th Assembly? To the 10th, yes.
Well, definitely much more than was brought from the 9th Assembly. One thing, I'm going to have a constituency office. I will be accessible. I'm going to look at some of the reasons why FCT does not access some of the health funds that other states do, why we also don't get all the same things in terms of education that other states do, and how to remedy them. Now, if you look at FCT, we don't have water in most places. Why? How can that be fixed? When Abuja was originally planned, it was not planned to be waterless. So there's a problem, and I need to see. Those are the priority. The quality of life needs to be improved for the majority of Abuja citizens, and that I will work on. Abuja is a capital with no public transport system. That also needs to be easily fixed. It's been on the table for the last 6 years. Why? So there's a lot that needs to be done. Then when you come to persons with disability, when you come to women, when you come to youth, there's a lot of, you hear about this federal government intervention fund, all these social responsibility programs, all those things. How many of them, the FCT people don't access them? Why? Anchor borrower scheme. How many FCT farmers have accessed anchor borrower scheme? None. So there's a lot of work to do in the FCT, there's no doubt about it. And may Allah grant me the grace and the ability to do all that I intend to do.
Well, let me ask you how you feel that this year women are not properly represented. Most women, except for you and just a few of them, are not in the Senate, the 10th Senate. How would that make you feel, especially when you're pushing women's bill?
I think somebody from INEC told me that we're 3 women. That is abysmally bad. And it's not, it's a shame on the whole country. Not, women, a lot of women run. We do run. But we get pushed out in so many levels. Even I won free and fair. And yet a lot of effort was put in place to put back the person the people rejected. So really, as a nation, we all need to re-examine what we're doing and where we're going, because it's not about just who you shoved today. It's about where we all will end up as a nation in a few years.
What are your plans for the women?
Well, I'm the leader of the Labour Party in the FCT. I can only talk about Labour Party. We're going to have congresses. I intend to have a lot of women in the party representation. I also intend, when local government elections come, to get at least 25 women councillors out of 62. And when I say at least, that's the minimum I would settle for. I also look into getting more chairmen that are female. So that is where we have to start, from the bottom. We have to grow the women, put them in the system that elects the people. So if there are more women in the party, then it goes without saying that getting those councillors will be much easier. Getting the chairman would, getting them to have tickets to begin with would be an easier process than when it's only men. So that's where I'm going to start.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, there is a state material race. So he's sitting right there, where they are shaking him. The man that is on brown.
Should we expect 10%?
The best that we can get is what we'll offer. I am ready, and I've heard many outcries from youths of Nigeria, and I campaigned on that basis, seeking for federal government to address the specific issues about youths, and that will be done. Of course, we're not going to. It can't be business as usual. It cannot be. People are fed up. People are crying. People are depressed. So we have to do the best we can for Nigerians, and by extension for Africa. We must lead by example.
So what about if I ask you as an opposition senator, how would your voice contribute to all this that you have mentioned? As an opposition senator, how would you contribute to all this that you have mentioned?
Look, we are all Nigerians, and we all want what is good for Nigerians. I don't think we'll be very so bent on party lines. People should be looking at the welfare of Nigerians, regardless of party politics. This is time for governance, for good governance, and so it's not about whether we're a minority or a majority. It's about what has to be done. For example, I feel strongly that we must address the issues of interest rates. We can't keep, expecting Nigerians to thrive in business when banks can unilaterally impose rates of 3 digits or 2 digits or whatever. That is abysmal. And so we have to step in, just like they do in other countries, and make sure that interest rates are such that will help the economy. If you ask me, for example, I would say, look, why can't we peg it at maximum 2%? The banks can compete within that range, between 1 to 2. And that is just something that has to be done for Nigerians, regardless of party affiliation, or where you come from.
Thank you so much, Senator. And it seems you are my senator.
Oh,
yes. Yes. My name is Osamu.
From
Thank you very much.
All right, you're not new to the Senate. Now, 10th Senate. What are we expecting?
Well, I think we should expect consolidation on some of the good initiatives that have been started. For example, further deepening of the issues of transparency and accountability in the Electoral Act, which I was one of those in the Electoral Committee that worked on it. We did a lot of work, but clearly from what everyone has seen, everyone is saying, some work still has to be done. And for my constituency and my state, and the issues of Niger Delta will be more examined. In the next 4 years, you will see further work on the issues of the environment, see further work on amendments of the Constitution, some of the initiatives we have started, and then also working with friends and allies and colleagues to deepen development, and then further bring democracy closer to the people and the benefits thereof. A lot of work clearly has to be done from what we have seen, and we're going to continue to work in that direction.
Thank you so much.
My name is Garba Musa Maidoki, representing Kebbi South Senatorial District. I'm the first time in the Senate.
Now that it is your first time in the Senate, what are you bringing on board?
Security, transparency, integrity. That is what we bring. We want to set a new agenda for national development. We want to set a new agenda for the youth. I've gone round, I've seen poverty in its naked sense. And if nothing is done, I don't think we have a future. So that's what we are bringing to the table.
What among these things you have mentioned, what will be your priority?
Security. My people have been displaced by bandits. That is the crux of the matter. We are not now even looking for road or water. We are looking for security first. And this must be provided by, we are Nigerians. We demand that it must be provided by whoever is responsible.
Thank you so much.
To be expecting from the 10th Assembly, we are going to continue improving on what the 9th Senate do, especially in the area of the electoral processes and focus on the economy and also focus on other things that Nigerian people will be having. It's only when we are in the Senate that the senators will come together to set the agenda on what we are going to follow. So me as an individual might not be competent enough to give you what will be the agenda of the 10th Senate. But I'm hoping they will focus on electoral reform and economy.
Okay, but what about your people? What are the promises?
Our people?
The people you represent.
Oh, they want to see a booming economy. They want to see reforms on electoral processes. They want to see the turning of the economy to be in buoyancy. So this is what they're expecting to see. Put food on the table of all Nigerians.
So can you just tell us in short, maybe for just a few minutes, how your election was and the February 25 election? What do you have to say?
Well, there's no problem. It was a good election. I congratulate. You know you can't fight the church. The church is always very strong. And it was other parties versus the church, and the church will always win. They are strong people, and they are the people who did it.
Thank you so much, distinguished.
And Babila to please. Sorry, to the northeast. It's Kaduna.
Kaduna North. Dabo. FCT. So let them finish. Next one will be FCT. Let them finish.
Sorry. Please step forward to assist.
Robust legislation and a new Nigeria is emerging. That's the major thing.
So when you say a new Nigeria,
that's a new order.
A new order.
New order.
You know, last night Senate, there was so much drama in the last Senate. This time around, will there be stability?
What do you mean by drama?
Drama from the onset, the principal officers and all that. Those were the dramas we experienced in the ninth Senate. So going into the 10th Senate.
I don't have full details of that the dramas you are mentioning, for the fact that in the National Assembly as a whole, we have a rule that recognizes ranking. I'm a ranking member. I've been in the House of Reps. So I don't think there will be drama. And of course, in Nigeria, we have a way of putting cordiality in view by zoning arrangement and all the rest of them. So when that is done, then the senators will look around and know who will be cool-headed, focused, and who has the intellect to lead the House. For example, I've told you that we are looking up for a new order. And what do I mean by a new order? That we have to have a new Nigeria where every person will be rest assured that we have focus, that we are moving forward. It's no more, it can be as usual.
Just the consolidation and continuity of the effort we put in the 9th Senate. We've done the much in appropriation, and we've done the much in terms of passing good laws and other bills in the 9th Senate. So as a new 10th Senate coming on board, I can assure you that we have to continue on those good areas, and the other bad areas that we didn't do well in the 10th Senate, we are going to correct.
You know, we saw some dramas at the beginning of the 9th Senate. Are we going to expect that again?
Well, I'm no God, but I'm sure that with the exposure and the type of leadership seen on ground, we're quite aware that this present Senate now, as it is composed, we have about 57 senators, which means they have an overwhelming majority already. So it's not going to be like the 9th Senate where there was no overwhelming majority. But I think if the APC led Senate plan themselves well, it will be a straight one. And of course, if you can't beat them, the best you have to do is to join them.
And what would be the priority for the 10th Senate?
Well, I can't really say, but I can assure you that by the grace of God, when we come back from our break, we're going to review what we've done. And if we look at the areas where we are lacking, we look at the top agenda, but I can assure you that Nigerians are really lacking in the area of empowerment, of the downtrading, employment, and all those ones. So the law will focus towards seeing how we can empower and put Nigerians on the front burner.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome to the 10th Senate.
Yeah, thank you very much.
What should we expect from you?
Yeah, you should expect some high level of vibrancy, commitment to duty, and a strong aspiration to create something different in terms of legislative activities, very much innovative, and bring forward modernity into our laws so that our country will be at par with the developed climes of the world.
So what will be your priority, the 10th Senate?
Yeah, my major priority, as I said, is to make sure that our laws are tailored in a manner that will bring will have economic prosperity, outstanding development, and peaceful coexistence amongst our people in the country, and a very enhanced security.
Thank you so much. This way, so that I get.
From me, a lot of grassroots developments, and which I have been doing. Remember that this is my first time of being in the Senate, so it will be very, it's tasking for the confidence they have in me, and therefore I will make sure that I do whatever is necessary, to make the difference.
Okay, let's. Since it's your first time in the Senate now, what difference are you? No, you said this is your first time. That's fourth. Good. So, what difference are you bringing on board this time? The difference.
The difference is, my area is engulfed in some sort of crisis, I could say. So, the first and foremost thing to do is to make sure that we bring in peace in this country. by laws that we hope to, with executive, be able to produce. And when we have that peace, then other things can follow. Other things like developmental projects such as roads, water, health facilities, and whatever that will improve the life of the people.
Thank you so much, Senator.
So
what are we expecting from you and the 10th Assembly?
We're a very robust legislature, a legislature that will carry Nigerians along in all its ramifications. Very stable, a legislature that we know their honors, that will be very responsive to the yearnings of the people. And most importantly, the stability of this country is far more important than any other consideration. So I see the 10th Senate as a Senate that will provide focus, stability for our country, because the country has gone through a lot of turbulence. We need a stable polity, and that is what I think we should be gearing towards for now.
So what do you have for your own people in your senatorial district?
Well, for my people of Imo West, I promised them already that I'm going to represent them to the best of my ability. I will work towards ensuring that peace also returns in my senatorial district, and also bring dividends of democracy at the center, because the government we have right now in the state have done exceedingly very well. So we need to complement what the government is doing with what we're going to bring from the center. But most importantly, peace is extremely important in my senatorial zone at this point in time.
So what do you think will be the priority for the 10th Senate?
I told you before, one, stability of this country. Any law, any legislation, anything you are doing that will not promote the stability of this country will not be the best. Stability of the country. The country has gone towards some turbulence. So we need to play things down, stabilize the country, give people hope. There must be renewed hope in this country that we can actually work together as a nation.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, you're not a stranger to the National Assembly, to the Senate.
Obvious.
Now there's a new Senate, the 10th Assembly. What are you bringing on board?
Not me, but the 10th Assembly. We have to work as a group. We have to work as people. But I have only one thing that I think that we must do. And that thing is that are you okay? He blocked the whole thing. Can you hear me now? I said for the 10th Assembly, there's only one thing that I think Nigerians need. Nigerians need to see an independent assembly. I do not think that Nigerians saw the 9th Assembly as quite independent. As much as we had some legislative things that we did, I think that we need to, this time, show Nigerians that we are very independent from the executive. That is the only way that we can guarantee this our democracy.
So what do you think will be the priority for the 10th Assembly?
Well, the priority for the 10th Assembly is the people of Nigeria. The elections and the fallout from the election has shown that there is need for Nigerians to be Nigerians, for the Assembly to put Nigerians first in everything that they do. That is all. That is the desideratum.
Okay, can you just tell us what happened during your election and how you feel with the February 25 election?
I'm sorry, I didn't get your...
What happened during the last election?
Well, what really happened really was that it was a nice election. It was going normally until we saw the Obidati wave in the southeast. And it almost consumed everybody. And it showed me the love that our people have for me, because I was able to survive that wave. Otherwise, I probably would not have been here today if not for the love of our people. And so I owe them a debt of gratitude.
Thank you so much.